In a year where the presidential debate has been fueled by controversy and scandals, many Americans are seeing this election as picking between the lesser of two evils. As a result, many are considering voting. I'm here to tell you this isn't the right choice. As an 18-year-old college student, I may not know the ins and outs of politics, but I do know millennials are a major demographic that can swing an election. Since 1962, people ages 18 to 24 have consistently voted lower rates than any other age group in every presidential election. However, the voters that do cast their ballot make an impact. Just look at Bernie Sanders, for example. He put issues that concern young adults, such as increasing college tuition rates and student debt, at the forefront of his campaign, and he was a finalist for the Democratic nomination. All in all, college students should cast their ballot this election season, because if we want our voice to be heard, we need to do something about it, and the way to do it is voting. This right has been granted to every U.S. citizen for years after people fighting for that right, and millennials were the people that can make the difference. And we have to remember, the president isn't the only one on the ballot, and we're adults now. Our choices affect our lives. The president isn't the only one on the ballot, and sometimes this gets lost in major elections. A lot of times we get caught up in the presidential debate because it's broadcast the most on major media outlets. But we forget that there are 538 other spots in Congress that make up the Electoral College and numerous other spots that are up for election by local representatives. Every state is guaranteed 2 Senate seats, but the number of representatives differs depending on which state you live in. And the only way to pick those representatives are to vote. If you want to make a difference in the community, you have to vote for the representative you feel will do the best job. These elected officials are your voice in the Electoral College, and that elects the president. If you knowingly pass up your chances for your candidate, you can't complain not being able to elect the president. You have a chance to pick the president based on who's representing you in your district and your Senate. This is a big part of the election that often gets forgotten. Next, we have to remember millennials can shape an election. Before Hillary Clinton was the Democratic nominee, she was going up against Bernie Sanders, who captured the young adult vote. Sanders focused on issues directly affecting this large demographic, like increasing tuition rates and college debt. With 75 million millennials, a number that rivals baby boomers, we have the numbers to make a difference. The only problem is we aren't voting. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, on average, less than half eligible voters won't make it to the polls. That's over 38 million people that have the opportunity to vote for someone that will represent the ideals and decide not to. Politicians won't focus on issues that directly affect college students if there aren't college votes. Finally, you're an adult now. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, you're an adult now. This phrase carries a lot of weight to it, especially because everything is changing, including our ability to make choices for ourselves. Voting is that way to make a choice. You now have the chance to speak up about social agendas, economic policies, and foreign policies, and all the things that will shape our world we live in later in life. Our lives are changing rapidly. We are learning to manage our finances, live on our own, and find a career through higher education. In essence, we're preparing for the real world. We have a chance to take a stand on controversial topics in our country, which not only shape our lives, but generations to follow. As you can see, we as young adults have a lot to say when it comes to votes, especially when it comes to electing officials that believe in ideals similar to ours. If we want our voice to be heard, we have to vote. Whether you believe in either candidates or feel that they are both terrible and not voting is the answer, there are third-party candidates that may fit your ideals that will affect votes that would not go to the Republican or Democratic parties. Like President Obama said at the Democratic convention, don't boo,